Thank you so much for tuning into my video about the Rondo by Ferdinando Carulli from his opus 241. In the next part of the video, I want to talk about a few things that will help you understand the piece or learn how to perform it better on the guitar. So the first thing I want to talk about is to explain what is a rondo. It's actually a very common musical form that was used by composers in the classical era. So to explain this, let me get my textbook definition here. So here we go. Rondo form, common in last movements, presents a theme, then alternates it with other themes called episodes, which are usually in other keys, in a pattern such as A-B-A-C-A or A-B-A-C-A-D-A. Okay, so there's our rondo definition, and this rondo by Ferdinando Carulli really follows the first pattern mentioned there, A-B-A-C-A. So here I'll kind of walk you briefly through the different sections. So we start out with the A theme in G major, which sounds like this. Our main theme of the song. The B theme starts in the pickup to measure 9. This is in the key of D major, which sounds like this. Following that, in the pickup to measure 27, the A theme comes back again in G major. It's exactly the same as it was at the beginning of the piece. After that, we have the C theme starting in the pickup to measure 35, and this is in the key of E minor. Following the C theme, we once again have the A theme, which starts in the pickup to measure 51. This is again in G major, and it goes all the way until, pretty much the end of the piece. There's just a little bit of some extra closing material added in to finish up the song. This stuff that sounds like this. So there you have it, a very typical rondo in the form of A-B-A-C-A. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is an approach to the left-hand fingering at the very beginning of the song, the start of the A theme. So here we have the notes D, E, F sharp, G, and then we go into this little pattern. So right at the beginning of the song, if you just followed your instincts, did whatever first came to mind, playing this part, you might end up putting your third finger on this high G, and then also reaching with your third finger down to this low G. A lot of people, they learn the guitar with their fingers, one finger per fret, so they'd say, okay, use your third finger on the third fret, like that. The problem with this is then you get a gap in the sound. It's not very smoothly connected when you're transitioning from this high G to the low G using the same finger. It's kind of a little awkward gap in the sound. So to solve this, what we'll do, we'll use our pinky finger on the high G and our third finger on the low G. If your hands are big enough, you might be able to reach both at the same time, and this allows you to transition very smoothly between the two notes. Nice and connected, no gap in the sound anymore. So this is a fingering concept that you can apply to other parts of this rondo and any classical guitar song you're using at all, try to avoid using the same finger twice in a row on the same fret but on different strings. It gets kind of a choppy sound, so try to find other fingerings to make it more smooth. Okay, next I want to talk about some ways we can add dynamics into the B section. So if we're looking at the pickup to measure 17, we have a little 2-measure idea here, and then immediately after that it's repeated again. It does the exact same 2-measure idea twice in a row. So whenever you have something like this, immediate repetition going on in a song, I think it's really nice to vary it the second time. Play it a little bit differently the second time. So what I do for this piece is I play it loudly the first time and quietly the second time. This creates kind of a statement and an echo kind of effect, which is really cool. It would sound like this. Okay, that's a really nice idea you can do with actually, again, any song, not just this rondo, but anytime you have a song where it repeats the exact same thing twice in a row. Do something a little differently the second time. Make it a little more interesting. Immediately after this, starting in measure 21 up to measure 24, this is a perfect opportunity to do a really big crescendo. Just get louder and louder through all this. The notes are gradually getting higher and higher. So again, in music, in any song, not just this rondo, but it's very natural to want to get louder, to play parts that are higher pitched, a little more intense. It's kind of building up intensity, building up excitement. So it's very natural to do a crescendo through all this. It works very well. So this part would sound like this, starting in measure 21. Very big crescendo there. So now I'll demonstrate that whole section again back from the pickup to measure 17 with all the different dynamic changes. Energy kind of propels us into the A section when it comes back again in measure 27. Okay, let's move on ahead to the C theme now. This is starting in the pickup to measure 35. In this part of the piece, there's a lot of arpeggios going on, just going up and down notes of certain harmonies. But what I like to do when I interpret this piece is to hear smoothly connected melodic lines. And I'll try to show you what I mean by that. What I'll do is I'll play this upper part. I imagine 2 parts, an upper part and a lower part. So first what I'll do is I'll play the upper part. I'll play this part much louder on the guitar and the other part's much softer so you can tell what it is. There's actually a very smoothly connected melodic line going on throughout all these arpeggios here. And like I mentioned before, there's also a lower part going on too. So now I will play it again, but this time emphasizing the lower voice. like a duet, like two people singing together, perhaps. So now I'll play it, both parts together, but try to use your inner ear to imagine these two parts being very connected together throughout all the different notes here. So this approach makes it much more smoothly connected. I think it's a really nice way to play this part of the rondo. Okay, I think that's enough for now, so thank you again for tuning in. I hope that was helpful. I hope you learned some things. And the last thing I want to say is just remind everyone, when you're making music, make sure to engage your feelings, engage your intuition, engage your heart. You know, I think especially with classical music, sometimes we discuss and approach music so much just from an intellectual perspective, which is, of course, important. It's important to have intellectual understanding of music, but engaging your heart is equally important, if not more important, when you're making music too. So don't be afraid to ask your heart what to do. Trust your intuition. It's a valid source of information when you're making music too. So please keep that in mind. Don't forget. Okay. Hope you have a good day. Thank you so much.